Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Doesn't matter where you have Pisces in your chart, there may be a message in here for you. So Pisces, I'm getting a lot of information for your reading today. So first off, it feels like somebody brushed my hair with lightning bolt today. Like, it just feels like my scalp is electrified. I actually feel like that's the effect that you're having on someone, Pisces, where it's like you're electrifying something about their experience, or vice versa, because you are water, right, Pisces. It almost feels like there's like electricity running through you in whatever way, that is perhaps providing like illumination or clarity about something. I feel like it's actually coming through as being like a tower moment in the best way possible, where there was perhaps something about like assumptions that were being made, perhaps you or another. Could be both. It's giving a little bit of like a Pride and Prejudice vibe. Like, I love that movie. One of my favorite movies. I could rewatch it over and over again. Pride and Prejudice, where like each person had certain assumptions about the other based on basically like family, money, status, that kind of thing. So it doesn't have to be those things necessarily for you, but maybe there were some things about like you or another person or whatever, were making assumptions about the other because of like your experience or like your difference in status, money, family, that kind of thing. There may have been like assumptions that were being made, but that this electricity energy is breaking those assumptions down, is how it's feeling. Okay, so that's one message for you, Pisces. Another message that I was getting is kind of like training for a marathon. So I've never trained for a marathon, nor will I ever train for a marathon, but just metaphorically, like what I've heard from people I know who have trained for marathons is that, of course, you have to build up to it, right? You build up to it every day. You sort of do like a little bit more, that kind of thing. But you never actually run the full marathon until the day of. At least that's what I've heard, that you save sort of like the biggest event for the actual day. You just build up to it, right? So there's something like that about like, perhaps you've been building up to something, Pisces, but you haven't actually run the full marathon yet, if that makes sense. I feel like that's part of it, but I feel like that's what you're moving towards, I should say. And I feel like part of this like electricity energy, whatever that is for you, is part of your quote unquote training. Okay, I'm also getting the song Pink Pony Club by Chapel Roan for you. Such a catchy song. Okay, Pisces, let's get started with your reading. There's more, but I can't think of it. Hold on. There may also be something about learning from, well, that's the thing about the marathon, right? Like it's like if there are things in your, because you may not even be 100% aware of, sorry, my hair is just my hair is like, I like am getting this like impulse of like cutting it off. I'm not going to, but some days are worse than others. Anyways, Pisces, for the marathon energy, you may not even know what the marathon is yet, is how it's coming through. Perhaps on some level, like subconsciously maybe, but you may not, like there may be something that's ahead for you that you are being prepared for. So it could be like the universe or whatever phrase you want to, or term you want to put there, is preparing you. Like today you have to run like 5 kilometers or whatever, you know, metaphorically, in preparation for whatever it is that you're moving towards, but you may not know exactly what it is yet. But everything that's sort of happening right now feels like there's an increase in energy to try and quote unquote train you for what is ahead for you. So it's coming through as like a preparation kind of energy. Okay. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, Pisces. Yeah, atoms building. You're collecting information, right? It's kind of like following the clues, following the synchronicities maybe, gathering a bunch of information. And it's leading you towards the big thing, right? Like whatever this is. But I feel like maybe that's not visible to you yet, right? It's not as clear as these signs are. So it feels like each day you collect one more clue that's going to lead you to the bigger event, whatever that is for you. But you're in a building stage at the moment. This is kind of giving me hermit energy. So it may be something about like discovering something about your internal strength. It's not quite coming through like that. But, well, okay, because the hermit is Virgo energy, right? Which is your opposite. Maybe it is sort of like you're collecting information. Maybe that's not about you. That's about somebody else. Or like whatever it is that you're connecting with. It might not be a person for you. It might be like a job opportunity or a new location or like some sort of new manifestation. It's like you, as you move closer to it, more clues about what this is becomes available to you, right? Because it's kind of like, I'm getting this energy of like, there was a book that I was reading a couple weeks ago, about like, there were like these fairies that had magic. Obviously, fairies always have magic in fantasy stories, but whenever they used magic, there were like remnants of the magic, sort of like lint, like magical magical lint is what I'm seeing here, that sort of gets left behind, right? But it has that signature. It's like you're following the lint, the magical lint from whatever it is that you're moving towards, but I feel like you don't necessarily know what that is yet. Whatever it is that you're moving towards. It could be memories. There could be like, because things like stories, right? They have like experiencing something from another person's perspective that maybe you have not experienced before, or but that is providing like insight into the other person's experience. It's looking like moons now. This one in particular is looking like a moon. But okay, because now with atoms, right? Like the building blocks, you have electrons. Electrons that circle the nucleus. Interesting. And because electrons are what produce electricity, right? That's the movement of electrons. I feel like you're approaching some sort of like core energy. Like okay, it's coming in really like so much chemistry is coming in. There's a lot of chemistry, maybe. There's a lot of chemistry between you and this other. But anyways, it's coming through as being like, so the nucleus of an atom is positively charged, right? There's positive charge here. Electrons are negatively charged. So it's like you're collecting a charge is how it's feeling. That is actually pulling you closer to the core of this. So it's kind of coming through like that. You're building charge that's attracting you to the thing that you're moving towards. Feels like. That's why it feels like your energy is electrified. Like it's charged in some way. Transformation pressure, and then the marine life richness. Yeah. Pisces, you're about to step through some sort of transformation. Bravery, oceans. A lot of water. Look at all this water, right? Like you have the ocean, you have this water energy, and then the marine life richness. There's a transformation. Okay, I'm kind of getting this energy of like, there's this scene in Pirates of the Caribbean, I don't remember which one it is, where they're on a boat, right? And they're on a ship, I should say. They reach some like important, I don't know. It's like a portal between worlds where the boat like flips upside down. That's what it looks like here. The boat flips upside down, and then they end up in a different world is how it's coming through. That's kind of how it's feeling to me. Like you're flipping into another world. And I feel like there's something, because the whole thing about I'm getting so much information. There may be something about like fusion energy is how it's feeling to me. Fusion, like two elements sort of coming together, and it creates like this like chain reaction of energy. That's how it's feeling. I feel like there may be a lot of like you have lightning and water, right? Like, but in this case, I feel like when the lightning sort of flows through the water, it illuminates everything that's in it, is how it's coming through. So this card is coming through as being like clarity and illumination, but at the same time, this card can also be like very overwhelming just because there's so much energy present, right? It's like, it's very, there's so much to look at. There's so much to see. There's so much to experience. But the waters are clear. I feel like there's something about giving birth to something, metaphorically. Giving birth to something, because these are kind of looking like eggs now. They're looking like eggs, and then all of a sudden they all hatch into this. It could be like, so, and the transformation pressure is kind of feeling like there's like coming out of the egg, like hatching out of the egg. I feel like there's maybe there's something here, Pisces, where you were it kind of feels like you're the lightning is how it's feeling. You're the lightning, because it feels kind of like you are having a very profound effect on someone or a situation or your environment. Feels like it's kind of like, because I'm seeing this as you, right? Like trying to like tread carefully, not trying to disrupt anything. It's like quietly collecting all these like clues or following the magical lint. But then I feel like you've collected enough charge, so to speak, in order to break the egg open. Perhaps multiple eggs are hatching, right? It's like being alone, hermit energy, into being completely surrounded by energies. There could be something like that happening for you. Like a sudden shift. There's something with, because that's coming through with Uranus energy, like a sudden shift into the new. But the thing is about like sudden shifts, right? You have been building up to this is how it's coming through. You can't just run a marathon on day one, right? It's feeling like you have been training every day, building more strength, perhaps, or building more muscle, whatever it is, more stamina, more whatever. Building up to running the full marathon, but perhaps you haven't done that yet. But you have been preparing for it. I feel like that day is approaching, whatever it is for you. Yeah, List of the Shadows. This is a breakthrough energy, like breaking a particular pattern, perhaps. Okay, there was a reading that I did a couple days ago. I think it was the Cancer reading, but I can't remember. It might have been the one before that, where there was an energy of 40. Maybe it was an earth sign. I can't remember. I'll link it above. Anyway, so the energy of 40 and then going to 44, right? Those two numbers were significant in that reading, and they're coming out again today, because I feel like there's something about like something is being balanced. Something where there was there was something about like a 0 point. A 0 point, but that it's like there may be something of like a catalyst energy for you, Pisces. I don't know if you are the catalyst or you are being catalyzed in whatever way. Because sometimes you can have all the right components for a reaction, for example, just like I'm going to talk about in terms of chemistry. Like you could have all the right ingredients, you could have all the right reactants, all the things that you need, but at some point it needs to like cross over a threshold, right? Like it's kind of coming through like that. Perhaps you haven't had, like, this is the threshold point. You have to cross, you need enough energy, enough like kinetic energy in order to cross some sort of threshold. I watched this video of a lynx that was trying to cross a frozen river. And it started to cross it, but then the ice started to crack. So instead of crossing, it just like leapt over it. It's something like that, but it didn't even need like a running start is how it's coming through. I feel like there's this like, you have so much strength now, Pisces, is how it's feeling to me. You have so much strength, like you've built up enough strength, or you've gathered enough strength, you've trained for this, whatever it is metaphorically, that when you get to whatever obstacle it is or challenge, it doesn't even feel like an obstacle now. It just feels like, okay, I'm going to do this. Like it's not like, perhaps in the past it might have felt like an obstacle, but now it's feeling like, okay, I can do this. I can do this is how it's coming through. You don't need a running start, because what I'm seeing is that the lynx literally just like crouched down and then it exploded. Like it just leapt over the river with such ease. That's how I'm seeing this. List of the shadows. Yeah, healing the shadows, addictions, bondage, self-esteem. Ultimately, Liz is trying to help people develop true self-respect and self-esteem, but she has to start much farther down the scale of idealism than that. She tries to inspire practical help for those who need it most. She's the inspiration for the first wobbly steps taken. The first wobbly steps taken with this bravery card. By a damaged soul towards healing. Her presence in a reading indicates that something that has seemed lost and fixed in that loss is now open to healing. Someone is ready to begin with help, the climb out of the inner mire. There is hope here, and a need for loving kindness tempered by practicality. If you call upon Liz for assistance in helping another, she will always give it, often by encouraging that person to be receptive and others to also be helpful. She always has the time to support those who have time for others. Is that you or is that someone else? Or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, really. Honestly, it doesn't matter. There's support and help for you and for others to break out of some sort of pattern of not feeling free or not feeling like, because it's things like, if you're trying to make a change, right, it has to be something that's done sort of steadily over time. It's not going to happen overnight. You cannot run, well, maybe there's one person in the world who can run a marathon on day one without any training, but for most people that's not practical, right? It has to be something that is built over time. The Unity card, right in the middle, the Unity card. Unity is transforming you. I feel like this card is talking about like the thing about assumptions that we can make about other people, right? Assuming things based on our experience. That could also be like a pattern, like could be things like your beliefs, like assuming the worst about other people, or assuming that everyone's against you, or assuming that there aren't good people in the world, or that there's like no help to be had anywhere. Those could be really limiting sort of beliefs that we have that keep us separate from others, right? I feel like this Unity card is coming out to say that there's like a tower-like energy where it's breaking those assumptions down. Removing the pride and prejudice. Okay, the Unity card says, when this card comes up in a reading, it is asking us to remember the mystical concept that we are all one, unified in a holistic universe. It reminds us to look at the needs and goals we have in common with others and to seek cooperation and community action rather than attempting to do everything on our own. To achieve our goals, we need the active cooperation of others, and to get that cooperation, we must be helpful to them and willing to work with their ideas as well as our own. It suggests that we think of things in terms of equal partnerships rather than in lines of hierarchical authority. Unity also tells us that we have much to gain by remembering our own wholeness. Resolution of inner conflict is often necessary before we move ahead. It is important at this time that we work towards cooperation and reconciliation within and without. Seek the highest good of all involved and not merely your idea of highest good. Ask for the divine energy of unity to permeate and guide you. It feels like you're breaking through a threshold, whatever that is for you, Pisces. And it's creating unity, right? Like coming together with others, cooperating with others, participating in the highest good of all is how it's coming through. There's this energy of celebration for you, like reaching a finish line of something. Crossing the finish line of this marathon you've been on, yeah. Collective of Pixies, that's perfect for this. It's talking about community, right? There's something about like community that's really important for you. Fairy that was kissed by the Pixies, one of my favorite cards. This is the love card in this deck. This is about the love that's given is love that is received. That's really beautiful. I feel like there's like whatever thresholds you are crossing, it's celebrated by others. It's a celebration. What is needed here is not only an awareness of duty, but a merry approach to it. This job has to be done, so one might as well do it willingly. Progress through this dance maze step by step, lightly and lightly. Take joy and pride in achievement. Approach the work with zeal, zest, and zing, and perhaps a little zaniness as well. Otherwise, you might as well not bother. Well, almost. There is something about this lighthearted approach to your duty that is important at this time in order to achieve the results you want. Additionally, consider the words collective and cooperative as you make your plans. The situation may take more than one person, perhaps several working together, to achieve the desired results. Joining forces with others is appropriate at this time. Seek the cooperation of friends, family, coworkers, and fairies as appropriate. Yeah. I feel like Pisces, there was something about like a particular duty and responsibility that felt very difficult for you at one point. It's kind of like, it's like maybe something that even you were resisting at some point, like running a marathon. That's not something that you just decide to do because you're bored, right? It's something that takes a lot of commitment. It's like a major feat that you're accomplishing or that you're working towards accomplishing, that you have been building towards. Training. It does feel kind of like there's been a lot of discipline that was needed in order to do this. And there's something about like fulfilling some sort of duty or responsibility, or just like it, if it's not like something specific like that, it could just be like understanding what your particular gift is that helps other people maybe, or like includes you in the collective, right? Like each person in the collective has a particular quote unquote role to play, right? Like it's something like that. Like, I don't like the phrasing of that for some reason, because it doesn't feel like it, because I'm just feeling this energy of like everybody's doing their part in something. Everybody is fulfilling their part in something, and that it creates like this really harmonious, like love-filled unity energy. Everybody is doing their part is how it's coming through. Four of Swords. Four of Swords, Two of Wands. Interesting with this Four of Swords. Okay, because you have lots of fours here, right? 40, 44, and now Four of Swords is the first card out, and Two of Wands. This card always looks to me like trying to catch a bubble with a pair of chopsticks. It's a delicate situation, basically, is what that's coming through it. Or if it's not that, it's like trying to like trying to grasp something that is spiritual, maybe, or like it's not physical yet, is how it's coming through. Interesting that the Four of Swords is coming out, because it's almost like this is like the day before the marathon. You don't want to do any training on that day. It's kind of like resting before the big event, maybe, whatever that is for you. Taking a day off, maybe, from all the training you have been doing. Something about delicate. It's delicate, the situation. But not in a way where it's like it's gonna break. It's not in a way where it's gonna break, but it's something that I feel like there's a lot of care that is being put into this situation. It's like something treasured and precious. Perhaps you're making plans with the Two of Wands. There was a lot of hard work that went into this, Pisces. King of Cups. Yeah. King of Cups. And the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups under the Unity card, right? Like that's like pure love. Pure love. With the King of Cups, I feel like you, Pisces, you did a lot of emotional work on whatever this is. It feels kind of like emotional, like it's heart. There's a lot of love here in whatever this is. There's a lot of healing as well, it feels like. It's kind of like if there was any like emotional turbulence, it's like it's still now. The water is still and clear. there was perhaps like a very intense transformation that had to happen in order to get to this point. It's feeling like so much relief here, the Ace of Cups. Yeah, the Page of Cups. I feel like it's something about like I feel like it's something about like healing someone's innocence, so to speak, is the word that's coming through with the Page of Cups. Perhaps you were like, there's this energy here of like with the King of Cups and Page of Cups, that could also be like a parent-child dynamic with the Ace of Cups, like healing some sort of parent-child dynamic, maybe. But it's also emphasizing this energy of community and differences. Because it could be something about, like, for example, in Pride and Prejudice, right? That story. One comes from a very rich family. The other, a rich legacy, I should say. The other comes from, like, they're not as well off, right? And has a bigger family, a lot more mouths to feed. So it doesn't have to be status in that way. In this case, it feels kind of like emotional differences, which is interesting. There may have been assumptions about, like, so it could be age, but it doesn't have to be that. It could just be, like, differences in, like, I don't know how to phrase that. Emotional expression, maybe? Again, I feel like there were assumptions made. Like something... Oh my gosh. Queen of Cups. Queen of Wands. Very interesting. Okay, there's definitely something about, like, there's so much love in this dynamic. I feel like there's something about, like, people were making assumptions about the other based on, like, their experiences with love is how it's feeling. Right? Like, if you had past relationships that were not great, that was forming an assumption on perhaps something new. Like, seeing something as being, like, I don't even know. Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands. So that's coming out under the marine life richness. So much water. Knight of Cups. What is going on here? You have all of the court cards out, right? Page, Knight, Queen, King of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. I feel like there's something as well, Queen of Swords. Okay, there's so many people here, but I feel like these are almost, because it's kind of looking to me like King of Cups, Queen of Swords. Maybe there were, like, assumptions that were made that prevent, like, somebody was seeing another person like this. Queen of Swords. Like, there's something about being kind of, like, perhaps like closed off when they're actually the Queen of Wands, very open. There could also be something about like somebody had really strong boundaries perhaps, or had a lot of sort of defenses up perhaps, or something like that, that was preventing a situation from being seen clearly, is how it's coming through, especially with all this water, because water, which is representing today the emotions, right? How your emotions can affect how you see things. And that it can become distorted. Like if you think about like, if you put like there's this like, not an experiment, but a demonstration where you have like a glass of water, right? And you put like a pencil or something in it, in the glass of water. And if you look at the cup, the pencil sort of goes like that. Like it, like there's like a lightning energy, like because water, there's a difference in how light moves through water. So there's something versus air. So there's something here about like the water, the emotional aspect of this situation maybe was affecting somebody's clarity about seeing something. But I feel like that's what the lightning is providing. The lightning is providing clarity about what was an illusion that was coming from like an emotional lens, is how it's feeling. That's why it kind of feels like here with the King of Cups versus the Page of Cups, like a perhaps a difference in like there may be energies here where there's someone who like, no matter how they're feeling emotionally, can always remain sort of clear. Perhaps another maybe is still learning that. It sounds going through, like not letting their emotions get the best of them kind of thing. Perhaps that's something that just you were learning in general, like not letting your emotions sort of cloud your judgment or your clarity, or how you might project that energy onto another person and make assumptions about a situation or that kind of thing. There's a lot of but this could also be just like because we're talking about a collective, right? A collective of pixies, the marine life richness, being surrounded by love and celebration. Maybe these are all energies that are supporting you. Maybe for you Pisces, you're in this sort of Four of Swords, like taking a rest, taking a day off, or taking like time to yourself maybe, with this Virgo energy. But like when you're ready to come out, it feels like there's a whole crowd of people waiting for you to cross the finish line, is how it's coming through. Yeah, Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups. So much emotion in here. So many cups. I feel like you're getting very clear, Pisces. Like there's a lot of clarity happening for you. Because I see this card as being like sound bowls, like aligning to a particular frequency, and he just looks so happy. Like I feel like there's this energy of like happiness. Like you're aligning to your own happiness. You're healing some sort of energy here about like what makes you happy. Perhaps breaking a pattern of unhappiness or breaking a pattern of heartbreak. There's something interesting about like the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands, right? Because these are of course opposite energies. one's very closed off, one's very open. There could be something about like maybe you were seeing somebody as being more of a Queen of Swords when they're more, well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe they were protecting something. Maybe there's someone who's protecting something. It could be something about trust as well. Like the Queen of Swords is one who doesn't trust very easily, I would say. Like there, so it could be something about like, or because the Queen of Swords, I think, can also be very intimidating. There could be something here because of that energy of like something that you found challenging or like perhaps even impossible at some point. Maybe it was like too big of a challenge to cross. I feel like you've been working up to it is how it's feeling to me. Because I'm seeing this, so I don't know, take it how it resonates. Because there's so many energies in this reading. I don't know exactly who is who, but it feels like this Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands feels like the same person to me, but seen in a different light. Or in a different environment, maybe. And I'm seeing this as being like the fairy who was kissed by the pixies. This one is actually like very loving, but I feel like that you may not have been seeing them like that. Because of some sort of emotional filter that you have had on, like some sort of like energy of like a negative sort of pattern, a negative emotional pattern maybe, or a harmful emotional pattern that I feel like you're healing from. Because you have the Nine of Cups, I feel like you've reached some sort of like state of emotional stability and strength and fulfillment within yourself. That's allowing you to see things clearly. There's like a deep emotional understanding that's coming through here. Perhaps an understanding about yourself with this sort of Virgo energy coming through. A deep emotional understanding about yourself, but also about this other or others, period. Others, plural, I should say. Tower. Again, I feel like this is a positive tower. Because it's like, it's something where there was the integrity of the structure remains in this tower, but anything that was sort of creating more burden or more limitation or more heaviness, like because this tower is unbalanced, right? The aspect that was causing an imbalance is being removed, is how it's feeling to me. I actually feel like this tower is coming through as like a relief or a celebration. It's like finally, it's like finally, some sort of breakthrough. It's like when love finally gets through to somebody. When love finally gets through to somebody is how it's feeling to me. The Emperor. This is the only red card out of all the blue that's on your in your spread today. Pisces, the Emperor. I'm seeing Rocky at the top of the stairs. Judgment. Yeah. It's a big moment, feels like. It's a big moment. This Judgment card, I'm going to read what this one says because it has sort of like a unique message. Reconciliation. Coming to terms with our past changes us and fosters healing. It renews our ability to love purely, flow freely, and transcend our struggles. Judgment is a voice calling from deep within you, a distant yet familiar invitation. It requires intention and a significant act of bravery, uncovering and arousing the enshrouded memories of your past. If you accept the invitation, they will rise up fully exposed. Now is your best opportunity to face them, forgive them, and move on once and for all. Yeah, this is an energy of forgiveness and healing, releasing the past, an altered view, an invitation from within, new purpose. And that's coming out under the Ace of Cups. With the Emperor card, that's really interesting. It feels kind of like somebody who feels like they need to do everything by themselves, right? Because this is kind of coming through as being like holding up a structure by yourself, doing something by yourself. It's the only card that doesn't fit in this spread today. And I feel like that's significant. It's kind of like breaking through some sort of pattern of like, nobody's on my side, nobody helps me, nobody cares. That it's kind of coming through like that. Like, I have to do everything by myself. I feel like that's part of the pattern that's changing for you. Or for somebody in this dynamic, I don't know, Pisces, how this, all the energies are like mashed together. I can't differentiate them at this point. It's all, because it's unity, right? It's like, it's this energy of like, everybody is part of this experience. Justice, the Empress, and the Star. Justice, Empress, and the Star. I was getting a very strong Libra energy for you, Pisces. That's significant, but Aquarius is also coming through. There's air. Because you have air and water very strongly represented. The Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. This Hierophant card talks to me about like discovering something, discovering a secret, or discovering some sort of like truth about something. Okay, Pisces, I'm going to close off the reading, but just to talk about these cards a little bit. I feel like there's this energy of like balance being restored, because the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards were all major arcana. There's like something about balance being restored to something, especially with this Justice card and the Judgment. There's an energy here of forgiveness that's coming through, because I feel like there's what was coming through with this Justice card is sort of like that that Egyptian Ma'at, I think is the name, of like at sort of like the end of your life, right? Like your heart is weighed against a feather. Your heart is weighed against a feather. And if your heart is as light as the feather, right? The balance here, this weighing of the scales, then you're permitted into the afterlife. There's something about like your heart is as light as a feather here. There's like so much forgiveness, letting go of the past, just like so much love that's coming in and healing in a situation. And with this like Emperor and Empress energy, it if it's not a specific relationship for you, it's just talking about you and the other, whatever that represents to you, is becoming whole and complete and unified, right? There's this energy of unity, of wholeness, with you and anything that's not like you. Because it's just kind of coming through as like complete healing in a situation. Something in your life has completely healed. Your heart is as light as a feather is how it's feeling. Okay, Pisces, I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.